Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Mewtwo Fan Nate, and I'm your coach of the New York Noibats. It is the third season, week number 1 of the P4G. Pokemon 4 Glory is back, and I am so excited for this league. Of course, like I said, this is week number 1, and we are going up against my good friend Elliot and the Chicago Cubchoos. Elliot's a really good friend of mine. I actually met him IRL. I met him at PAX. He was actually the first person that I ran into, and he just made PAX like super nice for me because it was like the first person I ran into. It was just like super welcoming and warming, you know, really just genuine person, and I love Elliot to death. So I'm really excited because I'm gonna destroy his face week 1, and I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to this battle for quite some time. So if you guys don't know how I like to run my team builders, pretty much what we do is we go over both of our drafts. We kind of talk about team matchup a little bit, and then we go into our sets. So pretty much, as you guys can see right below me, my team consists of Wigglytuff, Doublade, Vaporeon, Piloswine, Dodrio, Shelgon, Acelgor, Girder, Lurantis, Electivire, and Torracat. And he has a very terrifying team that consists of Darmanitan, Tyrantrum, Araquanid, Cofagrigus, Licky, Serena, Articuno, Electro, Ditto, Lunatone, and Krokorok. So pretty much looking at his team, it's filled with a whole bunch of wall breakers under Sticky Web, or he has like the speed control option with Trick Room going in with the gosh darn Cofagrigus. His Mons, like, he has like some really good like he's a really solid fire water grass core with the Darmanitan, Araquanid, and Serena. He has like a really nice bulky fat core with the Cofagrigus and Licky, really fast, nice like volt switching thing with the Electrode. Ditto is really nice for like him preventing like setup against me. So like, for example, I have a lot of things that set up on my team, which makes it really scary. Like I have the Doublade, which loves setting up. I have the Shelgon, which can set up, the Lurantis with like different contrary boost things. The Dodrio likes doing like Swords Dance things, so it's he's probably gonna want to try to bring the Ditto. Like, I'd be very shocked to see if he doesn't bring it, but I would also understand why he wouldn't bring it, because Ditto's like very weird and situational, I guess. But definitely something I could see him bringing against me. The Krokorok is really cool. Like, Eviolite with Intimidate is also like pretty decent against my team, especially because it has knockoff, and knockoff just really does well against me. So I could definitely see him bringing that. I don't really expect the Articuno so much, unless he really wants something to break through the Shelgon. Maybe he wants it for like Hurricanes to kind of beat my Girder, but other than that, I don't think he's gonna bring that. I think his Electrode's like a really solid option against me, because it does do pretty well against things like my my Vaporeon and my Dodrio. It outspeeds the entirety of my team. It can pretty much volt switch on anything that isn't Piloswine or Electivire. I don't know if he's going to bring the Araquanid for Sticky Webs, because I mean, I do have like competitive things with my Wigglytuff, and I also have contrary Lurantis, so he might not want to bring that. But his team under Sticky Webs is like really scary. Like, I don't have much to switch into Tyrantrum like at all, especially with Z moves. Unlimited Z moves makes it really hard for me to switch into that thing. Serena's like actually like pretty decent at wall breaking through my team, like with like Power Whip. I don't really have that much that likes to switch into Power Whip. Only just a select couple of things, but I can't bring all of them because they just kind of get beaten by the other things on his team pretty well. So it makes it kind of hard for this matchup. I think for as far as my matchup versus him, Dodrio does a lot of work to his team. Like, there's not that much that wants to switch into Dodrio. Like, there's really not that many things. So like, I'm looking at his team, and I'm like, there's really nothing that wants to take either a Brave Bird or a knockoff or a jump kick. Like, the combination of those few things hit pretty much everything on his team for either neutral or super effective damage. We do have the Baton Pass on Dodrio, so like things that I'm not really sure, like, I can definitely go for Baton Pass on. Like, if I think like, I feel like jump kick is like really scary, because he does have the Cofagrigus, and I really want to click that against the Tyrantrum, but I feel like if he brings both of those, excuse me, that it's going to be really hard for me to like safely, securely go for the jump kick. So I might have to click knockoff, right, you know, like the first turn, and then he might have like a Z move or something like that. Might not do as much damage. So I gotta be very careful how I play Dodrio. But looking at his team, like there's nothing that likes to switch into it, and so pretty much like it's gonna do a lot of work to his team. Like I'm pretty sure that like there's not much for it that he can do for it. So I'm really excited for that. The next thing that I noticed that about his team is that priority, it does pretty well against him. Like for example, like priority Mach Punch from my girder is going to be really good, especially if he brings like the faster, you know, things like the electrode that aren't that bulky, and even things that are still kind of bulky like the licky, they're not going to really appreciate it. Knockoff is like pretty decent against his team, especially like the things that like he wants to switch into, like don't appreciate knockoff. Like his switch into the girder might be the Cofagrigus, but that's not gonna want to take the knockoff. I could go for like a bulk up, then like just smack him with the knockoff, and it's gonna do a bunch of damage. So I think we have like a really pretty decent like matchup against him. Like the only thing is like switching into some of his mons. So like switching into Tyrantrum I have nothing for. I have switch-ins for the Darmanitan, so I'm not really too worried about that. I'm kind of scared about switching into like liquidations from the bug thing. Articuno doesn't scare me that much, but it's really the one thing that really scares me is Tyrantrum under webs. Like Tyrantrum under webs is very scary. The good thing though is that I have Dodrio, and it is a flying type, so it's not affected by sticky webs, and it does do pretty well against his team. So I think with that being said, I think we kind of covered all of our bases. I'm kind of, before I go into the actual sets, I just want to point out that Lunatone is low-key kind of scary for my team. Like, the thing with, if it gets up a calm mind, it could be kind of an issue, so we got to be careful about that. Like, I don't want to be the guy that gets swept by Lunatone, so hopefully he doesn't bring that. So we're going to kind of just go into the sets. So the first thing that you guys see on the screen is our Dodrio. And Dodrio is running an Adamant set, which is just max speed, max attack. Normally I do a lot of speed creeping and things like that, but this is actually speed creeping. I made sure that, so pretty much like if you look at his speed tiers, like the fastest thing that he has besides Electrode is the Darmanitan, which is a base 95. And Adamant Dodrio actually outspeeds the Jolly max speed Darmanitan by 1 point. So this is going to be like really good because with Choice Scarf we pretty much outspeed everything on his team, unless for whatever reason, if let's just say he sets up like 2 Dragon Dances with Tyrantrum. So we should be okay with that kind of thing. So I think looking at that, like this is gonna be really good. Like I said before, looking at his team, like it doesn't have much for like switching into Brave Birds, knockoffs, and jump kicks, and then we have just Baton Pass because we don't really need like a 4th move. Like we could go with like maybe like Body Slam or something like that, Drill Peck if we don't want to take recoil damage. But I think overall, like it's just like it's really not that necessary. We could try running Pursuit, but I don't like bringing like a Scarf Pursuit set. I think that's kind of it's kind of scary for me, but you know, there's not really a reason to run Stomping Tantrum. Like there's really not. Like maybe his, like I don't think his switch in to this is Electrode. So and then he also has like Lunatone. So I think we're just gonna leave it with Baton Pass and kind of just go from there. So the next Pokemon that we are bringing is our Koopa Troopa, which is kind of like a Mario reference, I think. I don't remember. I think because of the shell, I kind of wanted to keep it Nintendo related, you know. So we have a Dragon Dance Rest Talk set with Dragon Claw. So pretty much this is just a like max HP with like max Spadef with Dragon Dance and Rest. Like this thing eats a bunch of hits and then it rests and Sleep Talks and just does that same thing. So it's pretty much like he doesn't have a, like I noticed he doesn't have a Fairy type. So this is kind of free just to spam on his team. Like this kind of sets up on the Cofagrigus. It sets up pretty easily on the Licky unless it has Dragon Tail. It also sets up pretty well on the grass thing, Serena, unless it's carrying like play rough, and it's like has a lot of attack investment. So I think this is going to do really well against this team. Like, he doesn't have that much for it. Like, he can kind of check it offensively, especially if he's like Scarf Tyrantrum. But this is going to do, like, we live one hit from Tyrantrum anyway, so we can set up 2 Dragon Dances and then probably outspeed him. We don't, like, our abilities are pretty, like, irrelevant. I guess we'll just run Overcoat. I haven't gen my team yet. Like, I don't really have anything that would cause me to take recoil damage, and he doesn't really have, like, a weather element on his team, but, you know, Z-Hail, you know, whatever. Maybe he could run that with, like, Articuno, so... Overcoat, I guess we'll just run. So the next mon we have, I want to see this. All right, so you guys probably don't know this about me, but so I was looking at this team, and there's a bunch of other things that I definitely could have brought for this game, but looking at it, I was just like, you know, I can't just draft Wigglytuff round 1 and not bring it. So we brought Wigglytuff to this game, even though I don't think it's gonna be doing anything. We are bringing back Tickles, and Tickles is rocking a Focus Sash set. That is, it's got competitive. No, I wanted to have Frisk. I want you to have Frisk this week. Just frisking out the competition, just to see what things are rocking. So like, if something is leading like with a choice scarf, I want to know that it's like a lead choice scarf. If it is a, so the only thing that kind of scares me about this is if I see, like Araquanid. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna lead with this. So maybe not. Like, he has a couple stealth rockers, like with like Lunatone, Krokorok, and Tyrantrum. So best case scenario is that he wants to lead with that. Like, I want to know what his sets are. So I think Frisk is actually really good because information to have is like super solid throughout the game. And like, Tickles was not going to come to this game originally, but I wanted to bring it. Like, so it's not like this is something that is gonna be death fodder. Like, I'm not expecting it to get any kills this game, but we have coverage for things like we have Dazzling Gleam for the Tyrantrum, we have Shadow Ball for the Cofagrigus, and then we have Focus Blast for the Licky, which it's not really gonna do much, but still, it's there. Stealth. It's really just its goal is to get up Stealth Rocks and die. But Tickles is going to you know, put in some work. I think we're gonna. It's not, I really don't think so, but we're just gonna say that. So the next Pokemon that we have is our our Electivire, the Kaminari. So if you guys don't know, I love My Hero Academia, and I kind of, you know, like think that this Pokemon resembles that. Like, I wanted to have, you know, at least an anime reference or something. So we're gonna go with that. I'm running an Assault Vest set, and I have to run max speed with this kind of thing because, and I feel like my sets are usually not this basic, but he has the Darmanitan and the speed ties with it, so I want to make sure that we at least speed tie. Like, he's probably going to run Scarf because that's the thing, but this is going to be really cool to have because it does allow me to take on things like his Electrode. We can hit we could take a couple hits from the this is also just to help me with his Articuno, which could potentially be an issue with things like because we don't really have good switch-ins to it. Like, we have Vaporeon, which can take the moves, but I'm pretty sure it gets like Freeze Dry. And then it's also kind of an issue for my Koopa Troopa, my Shelgon, and my Dodrio. So and it's pretty fat, so I want to make sure that I have something that can reliably switch into it and then like hit it with like big damage. So we have like max speed with Thunder Punch. Ice Punch is for things like Serena. What else did I have? And it's also for Krokorok. We have Earthquake is on there for the Tyrantrum and the Electro. So and the Darmanitan. So that's gonna be like the set for the Kaminari for this week. And we're gonna move on to our vegan gains, the girder. So we are rocking like a pretty standard set. Like, I kind of just adjusted the EVs like very so slightly just to make sure that if we can make sure that we can set up on a Licky if need be. Like, if he wants to run a banded Licky, we can kind of set up on it. So I needed to make sure that I ran like some defense investment, and we can kind of bulk up on it, and then Drain Punch and get our health back, and like knock off and things like that. We're running Guts because getting burned is kind of scary by the Cofagrigus. I know it has Mummy, but we can kind of switch out and play that kind of game for sure. I don't know why my voice is starting to like give out on me. I've only been talking for, I don't know, like an hour or so, because I've been trying to record my draft analysis and things like that. So I mean, you guys can kind of see what we have on the screen. Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Knockoff, and Mach Punch. Just nice priority. Priority hurts his team pretty well, like I said before in the when I was going over the matchup. Not really too much to say. I kind of just threw my leftover EVs in Spadef and Speed, just so that way we're not wasting any. But really, other than that, it's pretty just basic, you know? Woo! So the final mon is our Vapoyo, the Vaporeon. And it's really just a very standard set, because I think it's going to do well. Like, I just want to make sure that I can whittle down his team as much as possible, just to make Dodrio's life easy. Like, if we get some toxic on things, we're able to hit up, like, we can get like prior damage on the Tyrantrum. Just makes it, I just need to make sure that I can put it in range of the jump kick. And this also lets me switch into Darmanitan. This can take, like, depending, I really hope that he doesn't get Stealth Rocks up, because if he gets up Stealth Rocks, there's a really high chance that he can 2-hit KO me with the Head Smash. So I gotta be careful about that. But I think Vaporeon's overall just a really good lead. Not lead, but good bring. Just being able to wish, protect, be annoying, and that kind of thing. So hopefully we can get some skull burns and stuff like that, whittle down some of his team. It's really just to make Dodrio's job easier. So if you guys enjoyed this team builder, make sure to hit that smash. Make sure to hit that that like button. Make sure to smash that like button. Jesus, what is English? Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more. Turn on those notifications so you guys don't miss a single battle. And I will see you guys later. Make sure to check out the description for Elliot's link. Bye.